Who you gonna call?
What with a mate?
We have a phone line now.
That's
right, you can dial in on Andy's phone. His mobile number is 0736...
Nope.
No? Okay.
You bungled that.
How would you feel if I just guessed your phone number and read it live?
I'd be, I guess, impressed. I wouldn't think you'd guessed it. I think you'd remembered it.
Yeah,
and then I'd be a bit annoyed. Because I wouldn't change it, because I'm lazy.
But if I managed to guess it without looking at anything, I would know for a fact that I've guessed it, so I wouldn't edit that out.
Okay.
At that point, I've earned it.
Okay.
And I'm in charge of the edit.
So you're just going to say phone numbers?
Director's cut. Well, we've got like another 2,000 episodes that we'll need to tick off realistically. So if I guess even within 2,000, that's impressive.
New segment, once a week you'll say a phone number, and if it's not bleeped, it means it's mine.
And also, to keep it fun, the only way that people can find out the result is if they try and call it.
Well, no, because you don't want to dox random people, so you just bleep it unless you accidentally have got mine.
No, I'm fine to dox random people.
Oh, okay.
We won't really suffer the consequences of it.
I don't know about that.
It's a third party. They're not a listener. They're not you, so it's fine. This is War with a Mate, the podcast in which we dox strangers. But aside from that, we also play the campaign for North Africa. We play it every week. We play it with the devotion of a paladin on a pilgrimage. We are
to get his powers back because he's laxed in his faith.
We don't lax in our faith. I've got complete faith in us. We're playing an unfinishable board game, or historically unfinished. Not unfinishable. It's got all the rules there baked in, and we've figured that out bit by bit by playing it. And today, another great example of us using the rules and mechanics of a game made 50 years ago to play said game. Would you say that's an apt description of today?
I think you fairly described both this and all other sessions.
That's a pretty good synopsis. That is what we'll slap on the label.
So what did we get up to today?
Well, today we completed my movement phase of upstage 2, turn 4. And I would say it went jolly good.
You were happy with it? You found some terrain features you were a fan of?
I've spent this week sort of mulling over my decision a lot more than I find myself usually doing.
Which is technically cheating.
No, I would say, if anything, the board game is here. I think you do this every night. I think you pull out the sheets. I think you take them out, the frames, by the way. I've noticed they're upside down.
And the finger marks.
The finger marks, the fact that you've clearly damaged the original map and you've put in printouts. That's crazy, by the way. This game was expensive. So I've spent some time mulling it over, and I was thinking, you know what, maybe if I put some real planning into this, something glorious can happen. Instead of just spending time looking over the board when I'm there, I'll take away from more of my free time. I'll ruin my commute to work, where I'd usually be listening to music or podcasts, and instead I'll just look at pictures, low-res pictures on my phone of the game map and decide what I'm going to do. And what I did was continue something I was doing last upstage, which is a tactical retreat, which has slowly turned round from tactical retreat into a real nice bottleneck for your forces to have to move through.
You've really bottlenecked up the coast. So if I want to use the coast route to get to Bardia, there's a lot of guys there, and I'd also, because of the way the escarpment works, at multiple points in time, I'd be fighting people. Well, I wouldn't be fighting them. People would be shooting me from the top of an escarpment. Which
is a brilliant little terrain feature that I always had in the back of my head, escarpment. Can't go up it. Escarpment in my head has always been, that's going to be bad for movement. Yeah. That's what it's only really played into for me when I've been driving around near Bardia and moving towards your guys. It's been, this escarpment's a real ball ache to maneuver. However, I've looked at it from a very different perspective this week of this escarpment is a combat goldmine. Because if I'm up on the escarpment along that more southerly stretch of the coast, it means that I can fire down on you if you dare to get close.
Yeah.
Which for you would be an odd choice, I'll admit.
Yeah.
If you were doing that and hugging, it would make more sense for me because you can shoot me from the coast with your ships.
Yes.
But for you to do that, that's kind of a weird move because you're coming off the tracks to then do that. So the only real reason would be if you were going to go up the escarpments. Really costly when it comes to movement. And it's also prohibited for motorized units.
Yeah, which I think it's a +6 to CPA for non-motorized, and they have between 8 and they max out at 10.
So you're
and that's
essentially
just the hex side.
Yeah, you're using up most of your CPA just going up that hex side. So it's not really a viable option. And when you continue further west, that escarpment snakes around and only really opens up on that road to Bardia, or if you come through Hellfire Pass. So you don't really have much opportunity to not get barraged by some real nasty attacks unless you zip straight along to Bardia, which is reinforced out the wazoo at the moment, or you do the alternative, which you have done, which is to snake down south from where your guys were, near City Barani,
Yep.
and then follow the tracks along the top of the escarpment.
Yes.
Because after positioning my men, I now have a group of 4 units that are along the top of that escarpment.
Yep. 4 divisions.
I think it might be 5. 3 of which are divisions, 2 Blackshirt divisions, the 63rd Serene, and then I've also got the Trivoli Regiment and the 32 Gaff, which was originally, I think, the Bardia.
One?
I think, the Bardia garrison originally, full of guns. So they're snaked along there. I've moved the 1st and 2nd Libyan Division to Hellfire Pass to look over there. They are covered by the Oreska Division, and a few of my other smaller ones are around there. One of the black shirts are there. I think I've got the 2nd and 4th along the escarpment, and I've got the 1st hanging around, because they're a little bit worse for wear, so they're hanging around further back west. And I can pull in the 3rd black shirts whenever I want from Tobruk.
Yes, because they've made the journey now. They're like an upstage away on the road.
Yeah, so I'm really comfortably dug in. If you want to make your way along, you're going to have to go through a lot of guys. And that is where your movement came in, because after doing that, it was fairly open and shut when it came to my movement. Really pleased with it.
No combat except a little bit where basically the 11th Hussars got wrapped up.
A little bit. Well, don't brush over this as if it's just not something that we're gonna touch on at all. Because before we get into your movement, I would like to declare here for the audience that your truck bandits are finally gone.
They are.
Fuck the truck bandits. They're gone. That's it. It's over. The truck bandits are no more. All of them are gone. There's not a trace of them left. I obliterated every single one of them. And the only time that anything's come close to that was when you walked into Fort Madalena and butchered all of my STSUs. Never since or before has there been such devastation on this game map than what I did to your truck bandits. It was easy as well.
Think of it that way.
As soon as I committed to it, they were gone. It was so easy. I didn't have any trouble with them at any point.
They held Bardia for a turn.
I'm not delusional. I'm not.
Destroyed your air force. They ruined your truck convoys. All dead, but they'd all be getting posthumous medals.
I hope you understand that.
They've done all my damage.
Spiritually, this is me winning the campaign for North Africa.
Okay, that's fine.
I must admit, there was a part of me I had to wrestle with that wanted me to disconnect from the gameplay completely going forward because I've completely achieved my objective.
I'm glad you haven't.
For the better part of a year, they've been causing havoc with my already ruined and self-sabotage supply lines. So the fact that they're now gone, the guys who would kick me when I'm down would make a mockery of my defensive line, waltzed into Bardia and just squatted for the better part of a turn. They're finally gone. They've taken, I think, collectively like 50 trucks.
Easily.
Which is just not acceptable. I think if we looked at the amount of convoys I had when we started this and the amount that I was left with, I would say that most of that attrition, and this is not me being generous, I think maybe 70% of my convoys were in some way compromised by the truck bandits. And on top of that, I would say another further, what was it, maybe 3 or 4 airfields, airstrips were also hit by them.
Yeah.
They've been far more effective than the long-range desert group.
The long-range desert group have been not good really at all. They've, I think, once destroyed our truck and then once destroyed like 10% of an airfield. Supply dump, sorry.
And the thing is, they're hidden from me during gameplay. Yeah. I can't see where the long-range desert group are.
They just can't hit hard when they do appear.
The truck bandits were by far and away your most effective units, and I finally bested them.
It does get me very excited for when I get the SAS in the main game, because then it's the movement and invisibility of the long-range desert group, but with enough punch to be like actually do stuff.
Yeah, an effective combat force rather than roll on a table and maybe something happens.
Yes.
It'll be show up and actually have a significant impact, which is kind of what the truck bandits were, but that was mostly down to my gaping supply gaps that could be compromised just by showing up because I didn't have men there. And also the fact that I haven't been using the reserve system at all efficiently. Sorry, at all. Which meant that all of my trucks were at risk at any given time. But now that they're gone, I can step back into Bardia. The only, I guess, hiccup is that you gave me initiative. Well, you had initiative. You gave me first go in this op stage.
Yes.
Which means it's now your movement, and it will be your movement, I'm presuming, first in op stage 3.
Yes.
So you're going to have a sandwich turn. You're going to have 2 turns, 2 op stages back to back where you get to move, which means I can't step back into Bardia. You can't get in there. I'm not worried about you getting into Bardia, but it's one more turn, one more op stage where I can't secure that. Which, while you can't take it from me, there is a psychological weight that comes with that.
Yes.
It's painful to know I've cleared your men out.
So close, but so far. Like, there's no obstacle, but you can't get in.
Oh, I'm an idiot. What? See, the issue is you've taken your movement now, so I'm not going to do it because it feels disingenuous. But they ended their movement within 2 hexes.
Yes, you should have just rolled in.
I could have actually had my guys in there.
Yeah.
I don't need to worry too much. Store expenditure and water expenditure, those guys are fine for, because store's on until they can go back in, and water, they're okay. Yeah. But it's just unfortunate now looking back, I could have had them in there. But I guess, never mind, we live and learn. I was too focused on those fucking escarpments. Those things, prime real estate.
Yeah, so I've swept my 2 big divisions down south when it came to my turn.
You have the 4th Indian and the 7th Armoured.
Yes, they have sandwiched your gun group.
The Bardia garrison, the 32nd Gaff.
Yeah, and their sort of plan over this op stage and next op stage is trying to damage, make a couple of those divisions retreat or lower their numbers a bit.
Which is very doable.
Yeah.
Those guys were the majority of that wall that I built, and they've taken some heavy losses already in terms of actual toe points, but also resource. Yeah. None of them, I think, are at full firing capacity. I think most of them have used up a lot of ammo. Right. Their toe points are wounded. I have 2 or maybe 3 of them don't have the stores required to make an offensive. So a lot of them are on a defensive play with diminished ammunition, diminished numbers, and the position they're in, it's great when they're in a line looking over the escarpment, but when they get flanked and the escarpment is the thing behind them, it means their options to retreat are massively limited, and you can just kind of skip along them one by one.
It's kind of the hope, yeah. We'll see how it plans out, but...
What will happen, though, is you will be consuming a lot of ammo yourself.
Yes.
You'll be, I guess, bit by bit, losing some men, because there's no way you go through all of this without losing some guys.
I won't get 0 on everything. No.
Yeah, war of attrition here.
Yeah.
And now, every fight that you win, you move further away from your supply line. And if this hot weather keeps up by chance...
Yeah.
Those truck breakdowns are going to start to rack up. And you may have rebuilt that portion of road that I hacked away at with my bombing runs, but that road is now null and void because all I needed to do was drag you away from the road, and the truck movement over tracks is significantly worse than anything I could do to the roads.
Oh, well, if you bomb the road, it becomes a track, so...
Yeah, and that's such a costly thing to do when you moving away is free.
They can't get to where they are. It's just, it won't be it'll break the resupply everyone and go back to Mercer True in the same stroke.
Yes, which is I guess that's actually the secondary benefit for me, because my primary hope is even if they can do their round trip, that their breakdown points are going to accumulate to the point where your trucks are going to start to dwindle in numbers.
I am actually going to get an influx of trucks.
Where's that from?
Mercer True and Alexandria.
Is that repairs?
Yeah.
I've got so few trucks repaired. It's scary because so many of them got, lost to the desert. Yeah. And when they've been coming in drips and drabs, I've had to wait until a lot of them are there to repair, which I'll double check the rules. I think I'm allowed to wait until they're there to try and repair en masse because it's percentage based.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that goes. I do have some tanks that are ready to roll out.
Yeah, I've got some. I need to figure out how I can. I just need to look at the rules because I've got all the weapons that I captured off the first Libyan, and I think I captured some guns earlier as well.
No, I don't think you did. No, probably not.
But anyway, I need to look at how to get them back and get them involved.
I think it's actually quite unsportsman to use my weapons.
Okay,
if you think about it,
it's not doing a sport.
Yeah, but still, I want you to justify yourself.
I need boomsticks.
I mean, I can't really knock back an Evil Dead code. I'll accept that. That's fine. I think I'm feeling probably the most confident I have going into a situation where I know I'm going to be attacked.
Yeah, you're in a very nice position. You've got the escarpment and a loop round with the pass. You've got a nice. They're in a nice position at the minute, and they're all clustered closely enough that if something does go wrong, if I overextend at the top, going on the loop around the escarpment,
yeah,
then the guys holding the pass could just move around and attack them. And if there's not guys close enough on the coast to threaten.
Yes.
So they're nicely set up to all reinforce each other.
I'm really interested to see how this plays out.
So with the truck bandits getting wrapped up this turn, I don't know what I think I made a bit of a mistake bringing the division back together. Because it's performed well, but when it was stuff scattered everywhere, I think they each had more of an impact than one spot that's a worry.
Yes, and I'll give you this, and this is probably a really bad thing to expose myself with, but psychologically, seeing more pieces on the board really freaks me out.
Yeah.
When I see a bunch of them there, I just see every single piece as a division. I just see a piece on the board, and as it comes towards me, I think I'm going to die. It could be 5 guys.
Yeah.
Not the restaurant. It could be not the corporate chain. Talking about the guys in Africa. When they show up, I'm well, they're going to kill me.
Yes.
And that never went away. Even when I was fighting them, even when I knew exactly who was in each tile, it still freaked me out.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're all back in one place, even though it's made a more unified division that's going to be stronger when I tackle them, I feel so much nicer having to take them on than 4 individual pieces that are weaker.
Because you can just contain.
I could contain. I think it's even more.
Is it just there's more stuff, so you panic? It's just like a sort of animal reaction.
Yeah, it's pieces on the board. that scares me. I don't like that.
Everything is gonna split.
That you're going the other way here, where now you're being the moron. Beforehand, you had the, I guess, psychological high ground where I looked the buffoon. Don't bring yourself down to my level.
Okay,
you're better than this.
Thanks, man.
Stupid doesn't suit you.
Oh, it's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
We've been friends for a decade. And in the same stroke, I called you an idiot.
Yeah.
That's bad. That's really... You should not be hanging around me. What a toxic man I must be.
Good point. We're done.
Wait, no. No one else will play this with me.
Absolutely not.
I mean that as well. You know what? I think portions of the game like this will really benefit from when we're playing the full thing and we've got our organized shit together where we can regularly post like visual updates.
Yeah.
It's like, because right now we're just posting them on the Instagram each week and the pictures aren't the clearest. So when it comes to doing that week in, week out, people being able to see the evolution of the map will be such a cool thing.
Yeah.
And being able to, because right now I think people have to wrestle with us trying to describe it.
Yeah, which we're not great at. I don't know. We'd say where the things are, but I mean, if you're trying to picture the entire map of a game you've not played, we're probably not giving you the greatest descriptions.
Yeah, unless you're looking at a picture of the map while you listen, which I guess isn't great, because I don't know about anyone else, but the way I listen to a podcast is usually when I'm busy doing something else. So having a very complicated board game map in front of me while I'm listening to it feels a lot like work I don't want to do.
But yes, we'll tidy that all up.
But come to think of it, that would be the same issue if we had very good pictures. They would still have to look at the pictures, so...
I guess, but let's make them better anyway.
Yeah, I guess we should still strive to do that.
Yeah.
But that was the end of my movement, the beginning of yours. The truck bandits are gone. I'm sure it was the Bardia garrison, the 32nd. They're boxed in with your two divisions.
Yep, going to attack them. Move the 6th Australians up. They're hurtling towards the front now.
They darted straight up. Yeah, they moved 30 hexes.
They're running very light on supplies.
Oh, that's interesting.
I think my plan is going to be to de-mechanize them at Mercer Matru and fill up.
Oh, and then come in slower, but with all the supplies you'll need.
Yeah, so they're going to rush, like, up the coast with, like...
bare bones.
Basically, if they get delayed for, like, an op stage, I'm going to need to send a truck convoy to them.
So what you're saying is, with my reinforced air force that I've now got in Fort Magdalena...
They're a good target.
Strafe them. Take out their trucks.
Yeah.
And bomb them while I'm at it.
Might as well.
I might as well.
Yeah.
I probably will. Oh, well, that's handy.
Yeah.
But, they hurtled straight up from map E to partway along map D on the coast road.
Yes.
So that was a scary visual of them rushing along. I know they've accumulated a little bit of breakdown, but I don't think it's going to be enough to really slow them down on their approach.
No.
So I'm going to have to try and pick them off somehow. And Air Force is the only way, because I'm certainly not going to get guys there.
I've realised as well I can give myself a much better Air Force for the last turn.
How do you go about that?
I'm just going to drain Malta.
Do you not need to have a certain committance to Malta?
I don't think so, and I don't think you can attack it, and I've had very little luck with the convoys. So I need to double check. But I might just make them do a strategic convoy, strategic air phase on start of turn 5. So they come in for turn 6.
I was sure that you have to have a
you might be right. I've not looked into
so.
the details of the plan, but that my idea is I might just abandon Malta.
That stands so true to everything I do in this game, where I have an idea with my vague recollection of the rules, then I look at the rules and realize I need a new plan.
Yeah.
And that's why I was doing that this week, where I was actually thinking over my move, because I know for a fact escarpments have that combat benefit.
Yeah.
Where if you're firing at me, you move 3 columns to the left, which is an insane drop.
Yeah.
So with that being the case, I had a plan that I knew wouldn't fail because of rules misunderstanding. I hope.
Yeah, that is one of the ones where it's like, it does feel, it somehow feels worse when it's, I've just misinterpreted the rules and left myself wide open rather than, I've made a tactical mistake.
Yeah, I'd much rather make a tactical mistake.
Yeah, because you are playing the game, I guess.
I don't want to make a meta mistake.
Yeah.
Which we've done. I don't know that I've done too many of them that have impacted gameplay. I think most of my mistakes have been poor supply management.
Yeah, rather than tactical, or rather than rule.
Rather than rule, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a big tactical and logistical error, not I've misread part of the rules.
I think the big rules stuff we've got wrong is the stuff we both almost backed each other up on our assumptions, like the road stuff.
Yes, which we mentioned before is that the benefit we have of this practice run is the rule mistakes have been symmetrical.
Yes, which will also, I guess, carry into the main game, but it's been good. Want to reduce them, obviously. But I think if the mistakes are symmetrical, it's less of an issue.
Yeah.
What's more of an issue if one of us is like calculating something in such a way that they have like a boost?
Yes. And that's the big fear, because when the full game rolls round, we're not going to be communicating as openly about what we're actually doing behind the scenes. So if we can eradicate those mistakes now, it means someone isn't doing something behind the screen completely different to the other person that we won't know until 5 weeks down the line. It happens for the 7th time, and someone goes, hang on a second, this doesn't seem right. And then we realize we've wasted a month.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what we'd do at that point.
I mean, the bookkeeping at that point should be good enough that we can roll it back, but also don't want to roll back a month.
Rolling it back a month would be... I think at that point it's just such a psychological weight.
Yeah.
Like, I would be devastated.
It makes those things we're going back through so much worse.
That's the ultimate, like,
but the thing is,
Sisyphus.
It is going to happen, isn't it?
At some point, yeah. Over the amount of time that we're going to be doing this, yes. Because we've not introduced the Germans at all. There's going to be stuff missed within that.
Yeah, all the production stuff has a 2-month lag for the Commonwealth, so I haven't
had to do that.
Haven't even looked at it, because...
Maybe we just do another practice run that's 20 turns.
The Italian offensive or whatever.
Yeah, there's one after... Yeah, I think there's the second part of the Italian offensive scenarios.
Yeah, which is 20 turns.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll prolong this another 7 years. No, that's a joke. I'll not commit to that. I've committed to one silly thing this lifetime.
One's enough.
One's enough. Or 2, apparently. So, we now have a game state of you're going to try and push through an incredibly strong defense.
Yes.
Albeit a bit battered in some parts, but for the most part, standing steadfast to block you from getting to Bardia. And I'm digging in. I don't think I can do anything but. My supply lines do not allow me to make any sort of offensive action.
Towards Matru.
We have truly and definitively locked into Graziani's defensive.
Nice.
This is where the game state will end. You will not make it past this wall. This is a stalemate that will last about 5 months.
Okay. So listeners have that to look forward to.
Hey, we'll still be doing all the fun stuff in between.
Speaking of which, I guess.
Speaking of which, yeah, let's go off on a tangent about Taylor Swift.
I don't have anything.
No? To be fair,
I hate those Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah. And I said Kaiser Sose, but that's
a bad
suspects.
Man being a bad man.
That's usual suspects. And then I'm thinking Kaiser Chiefs. I'm doing word association in my head, and it's not getting us anywhere. You. Let's go to what I think you intended, the mailbag.
Yeah.
Let's see what mail we got. So first up in the mailbag, we have an email from Ren. Ren reads, "Dear Andy and James, and a friendly hello to the celebrity on the couch." Don't give them that. Don't give them that. I was delighted to hear your recent common ground on banning suits for 30 years, and I think that it's an idea with a lot of potential. In particular, I think this is the perfect opportunity for the poncho-shaped hole in contemporary formal wear to be filled, which you only very briefly touched upon. That's true. I hope you know, by the way, Ren, we touch upon this outside of the podcast very frequently. So that's something that lives rent-free in our home.
That is something that came from our lives into the podcast.
Speaking of came into our lives and rent-free from the podcast, the celebrity on the couch.
Yep.
Yeah. Don't greet them.
No.
Because they can't hear us. They're pretending to be asleep right now, but they're clearly awake because they've stopped snoring as soon as we set the mics up.
Oh, immediately, yeah.
Yeah. And I know for a fact that they're bitter about not winning awards recently at the BAFTAs. A poncho is not appropriate for every occasion, of course. I would not want to be caught out in just a poncho in December. But when it comes to the summer months, it really is the ultimate technology in thermoregulation. It provides ventilation in the heat, especially to the critical armpit area, I can attest to this. I wore poncho at a music festival we went to a couple of years ago. It was incredible in the heat. It was lovely. I just wore a very sweaty t-shirt underneath. Loved it. It was great. But it can also protect from wind chill if things get gusty. I'm not sure what would step in during the winter months, but I think it's a great chance to have a more seasonal dress code, which would both add some variety and take us away from the mad idea that men should be wearing the same clothes all year, irrespective of weather or climate. Interesting, Ren.
I like this because when I was saying replace the suit, I was thinking one thing would come in. But I like the idea of the suit is replaced by the summer formal wear, winter formal wear. Yeah.
Well, we're going to have a common ground later on, Andy, and I'm going to be the one picking it. What I'll say is, hold that thought.
Okay.
We'll put a pin in that.
Ooh, a little Easter egg. Not Easter egg, teaser.
Yeah, listen up, Ren. I think you'll like what I have to say later, or hate it. Conversely. So take us away from the same clothes all year, irrespective of weather or climate. Women's formal wear is not any better on this front, and I think people of all genders could benefit from the poncho revolution, a world united. Subtle, humble, and brave. Ren. Well, Ren, I agree that this is going to be a unifying aspect of the common ground verse, because the poncho is... I think it hasn't fallen into the trap that a lot of clothes have, where there is that historical connotation. It's got a gender role of you've got the women in the dress, you've got the men in the suit, you've got the assigned aspects of gender and social conformity with clothes. The poncho never fell into that. The poncho never had that issue. It's sort of like an umbrella. It's borderline accessory.
Yeah, it's what it's styled as, but it's not inherently styled.
Yeah, it's not been cursed by a historical connotation.
Well, it just gets assigned to one.
Yeah, I think the only cultural connotations it has is it's sort of fallen into the Wild West is the immediate like pop culture fixation with it, and its ties into America, Central and South, from my understanding.
Yeah.
So there's areas where, and I don't know if it is like a cultural garb at this point. I don't know that it has any current significance.
I don't associate it, but that might be my ignorance rather than its lack of association.
Yeah, I don't know if we're ignorant or if it just was a historical, cultural bit of clothing.
Yeah.
But you don't see it pop up anymore. Again, this is from our bubble of the world.
Very limited experience.
Our tunnel vision in England.
Yeah.
But we will be, regardless, hopefully, from what we've said there, not culturally appropriating, but instead celebrating the poncho as a liberation of fashion and, by proxy, heat. You can't be hot in hot weather. That's not okay.
No, it's the worst time to be hot.
We live in the future. We shouldn't be dealing with
I don't
that.
have a flying car, but I am to wear a poncho.
I had a... That reminds me of a call I had at work at a job years ago. And there's a bit of an odd segue. I can tell by your head tilt there. You're wondering where this is going. And it's very tangential. But I had a call at work. I was working in an office where I was on the phones, and someone called up, and the line I was on that they came through on, it was about like a savings product. So I was expecting the usual sort of spiel about wanting a savings product, but instead, this woman didn't give much context. She instead just said that what we're doing is disgusting. Didn't really get any context. What we're doing is disgusting. She deserves better. And then just screamed down the phone, "This is the fucking future!" And then hung up.
Was she wrong at all?
And I think, whenever I think about the period of time I live in, I always think back to that call.
Yeah, we're living in the fucking future.
We're living in the fucking future. What she said is always true. So, yeah, if you're listening to this, by chance, woman who called me about 8 years ago at work, you're right, we are living in the fucking future. So we should not be uncomfortable in our clothes. We should be wearing ponchos. She inspired me to do this.
Good to finally vindicate that woman.
She's been living in my soul, trapped away in a little
don't
cell.
let people live in there.
Well, I've let her out now.
Oh, good.
Live on this podcast. Live on this pre-recorded podcast. Did you looking up to the? You just looked up to the ceiling as if we're in Ghostbusters.
Yes, watching the soul leave.
Oh, she's not dead, by the way. Well, I can't say that. I don't know that for sure.
You had her in your soul.
I have no authority. I'll be honest. It sounded like she was going through a rough time. Anything
Does
could
sound
happen.
like it.
So I hope she's all right.
Yeah.
I hope her soul is still bound to her body.
I hope she's in the fucking future.
I hope she's in the future, man. Well, Ren, thank you for that. That touches on a real cornerstone of the Common Ground universe, which is the poncho. And I gotta say, I agree with everything you're saying.
Yeah.
So, what you got for us, Andy?
I've got someone from Liam.
Come on, Liam.
Hi, y'all. I've recently had to go
Lovely
from
y'all.
Melbourne to Lisbon and back, over 40 hours of travel all up. Of those 40 hours, I got through around 10 to 12 of your episodes, and I'm now up to episode 38. Safe to say you absolutely carried me through the journey and helped distract me from some very fun food poisoning on the last leg.
That's horrible.
Traveling with food poisoning, I don't envy you. I'm glad we could make it slightly better.
Yeah.
Easier.
Which is interesting because we went on holiday last year.
Yeah.
And there was a period of time where we'd only been traveling for like, I don't know, probably 8-ish hours when we were in the airport, middle of the night. And the three of us, were just kind of silent. We didn't talk to each other.
No.
We'd already drained that social battery. And I know for a fact, and correct me if I'm wrong, Andy, this could be the case in your life, there are people that would tell me they would not be able to bear listening to me talk for a collective 40 hours. So the fact that you've listened to us talk about this game for that period of time is a testament to not our content, but your, I guess, committance to self-flagellation. So kudos, Liam.
Listening to the podcast has been fantastic. I originally got into it because of Calm, and I've been hooked ever since. Especially of the Common Ground segments and the history segments presented by Andy are always a highlight. My God, Graziani was horrific. 100% agree.
Yep, that's a hard, strong
Very
agree.
despisable figure. And because of your segment, I've picked up Libyan Sands, Travel in a Dead World. I enjoy.
Yeah, I think Annie gets commission on this book now. I've had a few people say they
wish.
picked it up.
You all talk quite a bit about playing D&D, and I was wondering if you ever considered doing any media-related content around your campaign. I know it would be a lot to tackle on top of War with a Mate, but I think it would be a lot of fun to see in some format. I think we've mentioned this, and I think we've decided we're going to keep because it's also not just us, there's other people involved, keep our D&D world sort of for us.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be against doing like a one-shot thing in some point, but I think, yeah, that's going to be for us.
Yeah, we talked about this, you and I, a few times, because there is another guy, our Jurassic Park friend, that we play D&D with. There's been others come in and out as well, and we've been playing this, well, it's a series of settings that are all kind of interconnected for the better part of a decade now, and yeah, there is an aspect of it where we've got we play it like weekly, and we have done for 10 years, and we've got such a rich lore and so much that we could, in theory, sit and talk people's ears off for hundreds of hours easily. It's actually like perfectly suited for a podcast or I guess anything that we could put it out for. But the issue is, with that sort of stuff, what we do play of D&D, it's not, I think, broadcastable in the way that we play it, because it's not, it doesn't feel like the kind of stuff like you see on like Critical Role, and I know that's kind of putting it into a very different category, but
we like to we'll sort of play for a couple of hours, and then we'll have like an hour where we go on a tangent, and it's kind of a break, but we're not said it's a break, and then we'll go back to the game.
Yeah, kind of like we do with the podcast.
I guess I'm now just describing this, but yeah, I just think there's a lot to do, and also, yeah.
I think it's almost our hidden away personal board game side. I think because we enjoy D&D so much, possibly something separate from our campaigns we could.
I think it
look
would
at
be
some
really
point in
fun
the
to
future.
do a one shot. Even do a one shot in, when we were talking about cryptids a lot at the start.
Yeah,
Do a North Africa cryptid.
that's not
The
a bad idea.
fantasy version of the campaign for North Africa is like a D&D.
Oh, I like that. Rommel is some sort of lich.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Maybe we'll put that one in the...
They're not trying to conquer Alexandria. They're trying to get into the pyramid to get some magic thing.
Hey, you know what? Maybe we turn our heads around on this one. Could well be some D&D stuff coming your way. Yeah, we've got a lot of love for D&D. It's that's the reason we started playing this, because we knew we could commit to sticking it out with a tabletop for a very long time. It's just a very different thing we've stuck out doing this. So, and originally, it was going to be 3 of us doing this.
Yes.
Our Jurassic Park friend, the one who actually brought up the game to us and mentioned it,
And
brought
then
it into
just
our
left.
psyche, and then backed out because he wanted to have a life outside of this.
What a fuck.
It could have been war with our
Mates.
mates, war with mates. So there were going to be 3 of us, and I think having that thing that is us and our friend is a thing we like to have separate. It's a
Yeah.
nice getaway from this.
Liam's got one more question for us, which is another good one. Also, James, you recommend House of Leaves quite a bit, but I've just started reading again after about 5 years of not picking up a book. And my God, it looks like a pain to read with the formatting. Do you have any books or media recommendations that follow a similar style or vibe? Keep it up. Can't wait to listen to the finale in 50 years. One of the fellow perverts, Liam. Thanks for the email, Liam.
Great, love that. Perverts is stuck. That's brilliant. So, recommendations. So, House of Leaves. I will say, House of Leaves, my favourite book. But I think the structure of it, at a glance, it looks a lot worse than it actually is. And I think it's got a mythos around it of, this is the most complicated book ever. And that's actually why I wanted to read it.
I think it is also a book, because I tried to read it and bounced off it after a bit. It was also in a time I wasn't reading much. I think you need to go into it with the right headspace. And yeah.
I'd say so, because I wanted to read it because it was... I found it through a video essay of a Doom mod that was inspired by the book.
Yes, because someone has converted the book into a Doom mod, which I guess you could recommend as related media.
Yeah, for related media, check out myhouse.wad. It's a Doom mod. It's actually incredible. I love that so much. Or the YouTube channel Power Pack has a video essay on it, and it's so good. It's one of my comfort videos to put on before bed. So I got into it because of that. It's not actually too bad when you read it. The structure of it looks crazy. It's actually, if you just read it cover to cover as you would any other book, you'll get a completely normal experience out of it. It's a great book. You'll enjoy it. But it's lengthy, and it does break from the usual prose of a typical novel.
Yeah.
So you've got a bit of a tackle, but nothing too crazy. In terms of anything else, a lot of the stuff I read outside of that isn't super experimental, so my recommendations are going to be fairly, I guess, maybe bland. I like a lot of Stephen King, H.G. Wells. The author of House of Leaves, Mark Z. Danielewski, has another book which I'm reading at the moment, which is Tom's Crossing. It's another big one, very big, very prosaic strides. It sort of draws out a lot, but it seems to be paying off in the beats of it. Cool thing as well, another side tangent, the author had a thing on his Instagram months before the book came out asking to submit names of the dead to him, sort of all in the theme of the book. And I submitted the name of my grandma, just thought, well, we'll fire this off, see what happens. And her name's now in the book.
It's really cool.
There's a portion of the book where he's collated all of these submissions, and it ties into the narrative in a really cool way. So that was awesome, having the author of my favorite book tie that in, and now my late grandmother.
A tribute.
Yeah, she's in that book. That's really cool. So that's another cool aspect for me reading the book. That's why I'm enjoying it as much, and it's my favorite author. So yes, I would recommend giving maybe Tom's Crossing a go. Really fun book, but it's again another big meaty one. You've probably got better recommendations than me, Andy.
I've got 2. based on House of Leaves and what I know of it.
Yeah.
One's called Piranesi, which is by Susan Clark, who writes quite a lot of stuff. Good author. That's about a sort of another extra-dimensional house space that someone falls into, and it's all weird, and you're trying to understand what's going on in this other realm. I think it's about 400 pages, so it's not a huge tome, but if you're looking for that like weird extra-dimensional space thing from House of Leaves, I'd recommend that.
Which I think a lot of people really enjoy about House of Leaves is that core narrative without all of the fluff, so to speak, around it. So that sounds like it's kind of refined the bit that a lot of people find the most interesting.
Yeah, so I think that lines up. And then another one, if you like the weird, not weird, but like non-typical structure, I read a couple of years ago that really liked This Is How You Lose the Time War. And that, they wrote it during COVID, and half the chapter, it's 2 authors, half the chapters are from one agent on one side of the Time War to an agent on the other side. And you don't really get like action. It's them just writing letters back and forth, but through like they're fighting a time war. And it's sort of a romance, but it's got like House of Leaves has that like letter correspondence element rather than just prose.
Yes.
It's got that to it. It's also just fantastic and pretty short. So
sounds like they've ripped off that Nolan film Tenet.
Yes, in no way.
Wow, that's so cheap.
Yeah, it's not like Tenet.
God, what are they going to do next? Rip off Oppenheimer?
Yeah. It's good. They leave the letters in like because they're like super advanced. One's tech, one's like the pinnacle of biology. So they're leaving each other notes in like grains of rice or like the guts of a seal or something. Like they're not just letters.
Oh, wow. I might read this. Yeah. This actually sounds really cool.
I think it's like 150, 200. It's a quick read. I went through it in like a day or two.
That sounds pretty lean for what they're going for.
Yeah, it's really, and it does pull it off. And it's got a sort of a romance element to it as well.
I might give that a read because I find myself involving myself in either really long books or books that are part of extended series.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, well, this is going to just get me into a rabbit hole. Maybe a nice standalone short book is the way to go.
If you want standalone short books, classic sci-fi, all about 300 pages, a lot of standalone because they're written for magazines.
Oh, yes.
So a lot of Alfred Bester, Asimov, also good, short, self-contained, if you want that for sci-fi.
Well, there you go. If you want sci-fi, there's your sci-fi fix and a bunch of others, Liam. So there you go. You've opened up our library of libraries. And
if you've heard those recommendations and you've read them before and you've got another recommendation, please send them in.
Send them in and we'll send them to Liam. Liam, you're going to get bombarded with book recommendations from us for the next 50 years. You're welcome. But great email. Thank you both, Liam and Ren. And anyone wanting to send anything over, questions about the game, questions about Common Ground, questions about what's wrong with us.
Or just comments on what's wrong with us.
Yeah, a diagnosis perhaps. Anything you want to send our way, info@warwithamate.co.uk is the email address. Our website is warwithamate.co.uk. We've got a swanky web form that works. I promise it works. And our Instagram is warwithamate. And we put up a post every week. We put pictures up of the game. We put up sometimes silly stories. And we, at some point, will update the website with lots of pictures when we're playing the full game. But we are acutely aware at the moment it doesn't have that. But send stuff over. We'll read everything. We'll get round to every single thing. We've got a long time to get through it all, don't you worry. But that was a nice delve into the mailbag. Always great stuff in the mailbag. I like the nice bounce around between game and game-adjacent stuff, and then the sort of the further circle expanded.
The podcast lore.
The podcast lore. And then I think Common Ground is the thing that sort of wraps around everything. Common Ground orbits the podcast and then circulates everything within. Well, with the mailbag wrapped up, that means, as is the typical progression of a War with a Mate episode, we're on to the history segment.
The The men of the long-range desert patrols were quite a sight on their return to Cairo from a month's trip to The contrast between the east and west of the Nile is very marked. In the east, the country... At this point, I gave little thought to my future, but had always been interested in boats in the sea. I am more or less in the position of a captain in command of a ship, which is on the point of sinking because errors are present.
We are absolutely not qualified to share views on history. Now, Andy, last week we had a rough time.
It was a bad one.
It was intense. It was pretty horrific, some of the stuff that we went over, and that's sometimes how the history segments will have to go. It's history. We don't choose what happened. We just look at it.
We're just talking about it.
But it's important to learn. It's good for us. It's good for the people listening if they want to learn. Or maybe they skip this bit and just listen to silly common ground.
Fair enough.
But either way, what have you got for us this week?
We're going to be wrapping up the second Italio-Ethiopian War today.
And I'm sure you've probably got a quote to start us off.
I do. Apart from the kingdom of the Lord, there is not on this earth any nation that is superior to any other. Should it happen that a strong government finds its way with impunity to destroy a weak people, then the hour strikes for that weak people to appeal to the League of Nations to give its judgment. In all freedom, God and history will remember your judgment. It's Haile Selassie to the League of Nations.
Well, history remembering that judgment, they didn't really remember all that well.
No, unfortunately.
It was news to me when I heard about it, and I think it's news to maybe a lot of people listening to this as well.
Yeah.
And if they have to find out through War with a Mate...
It's not great.
History didn't do it justice entirely. Sorry to say, Haile Selassie.
So we covered the Christmas offensive 2 episodes ago, and then the Italian war crime usage. This will be the back half of the Italian campaign in Ethiopia and the aftermath. So the Ethiopian Christmas offensive runs out of steam and the Italians counterattack. Down south, Graziani's forces defeat Ras Damutu, who had a plan of using 20,000 men to knock back the Italians and then advance into Italian Somaliland. However, as is consistent in this war, the Italians defeat them using their air superiority and gas. Graziani was receiving mean messages from Mussolini and Bagadolio about his progress being too slow, so he bombed the open city of Harare. Do you know much about... Have you heard of open cities before? I hadn't.
No, because when I think of open city, I picture open air.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking, and I presume it's not that, because that's every city, technically.
Yeah, so it's this concept of during a war, a city will declare that it's removing all its defenses. It won't let anyone in. The thinking being these aren't really a thing anymore, but at the time, when people thought it would be enforced, the Geneva Convention bans attack on non-defended localities. So an option a city had was to say, we're not defending, we're not attacking, whoever come in, but we're not going to fight with the hope of not being bombed or attacked.
That's interesting. Does that apply? So I don't know if I'm misreading this. So does that also mean that the forces that come in there, if say both forces from either side arrive, that they are also not to attack each other within there? In
theory, I think if they both arrived at the same time, they would, but it's sort of we can kind of see how the war's going. We don't want to be on one side or the other.
Yeah. We don't want to commit to a defense, and we don't want to fight back.
We want to be left alone.
Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, you mentioned it's not a thing now. It's definitely not a thing now.
No. So anyway, yeah, as I said, because Graziani's being told he's going too slowly, he bombs this city for no reason. But so he can be like, I've made some progress, I've done a thing.
I've committed, I think, what would be, by the measure of the time, a war crime.
Yeah, it is.
They're not new to that, though. We know from last week.
So there's a series of battles which the Italians win until the last deployed Ethiopian army in the field, defeated on the 14th of April at the Battle of Ogaden. On the 7th of April, so a week before, Haile Selassie had summoned everyone he could to military service in Addis Ababa. So he's trying to get more men. But those who respond, he's already done a levy And so this next batch is like also untrained, fewer weapons. So on the 26th of April, Bagdolio begins the grandly named March of the Iron Will to the capital of Addis Ababa. His column is entirely mechanized, pursuing Haile Selassie's, and there's not really any organized resistance left. It's an incredibly grand name for traveling like 150 miles. Knowing they can't defend the city, the decision's made to send Haile Selassie out of the country so he can appeal to the League of Nations and then, in theory, one day return leading a liberation movement. So on the 2nd of May, he leaves the city on a train along with the Ethiopian gold reserves.
Okay.
The Italians let him go. They could have bombed the train he was on, and in fact, Graziani wanted to, but Mussolini gave the order to let him go. I think because there's a sort of, if we're starting to get leaders, I'm a leader. Like,
yeah,
I think there's a certain amount of a thing there of like, we're breaking a lot of norms, but the norm I absolutely don't want to break is surgical strike on the leader of a country, because...
Also, I've got to just put it out there. What a fucking prick. So, he's completely fine with the war crimes, but when it's something that might compromise him, and he could become the target, that's the line.
That wasn't an official... That was my read into it, but...
Yeah, but like, I believe that.
Yeah.
I 100% believe that.
Yeah.
Because if he's willing to commit such atrocities...
war crime.
What was it? 100,000 dead by gas?
Yes, and then also bombing open cities, killing prisoners.
But all of a sudden, assassination of a leader. That's a step too far.
Yeah.
You coward.
Yeah.
You monstrous coward.
So as Haile Selassie leaves the city, he tells the mayor to keep order until the Italians arrive, but absolute chaos descends on the city despite their best efforts. It's full of refugees, soldiers, scared civilians, newly freed slaves coming into the city looking for shelter. It's just... there's looting and rioting for the next 3 days, mainly targeting stores owned by Europeans in the capital. And it spreads, but at 4 a.m. on the 5th of May, the Italians arrive, led by Bagdolio. The city's in ruins. There's a few sort of ceremonial entries, but it's a very angry, resentful atmosphere. And, of course, this also pisses off Graziani because he wanted to be the first one to get to the capital.
Yep.
Capturing the city does, however, cause widespread celebrations in Italy. Mussolini appears on the balcony of the Palazzo Venezia, declaring the conquest to an uproarious 200,000 people gathered to hear the news. Quoting from his speech here, Italy at last has her empire. It is a fascist empire because it bears the indestructible sign of will and the power of lictors and fascists of Rome. Because of this, the goal towards which, for 14 years, the vigorous and disciplined energies of the younger generation of Italians have been bending. He sees this is probably the height of his sort of career, I guess you'd say. It's where he's at like peak popularity. The government has hidden any failures like the Christmas offensive.
Yes.
They control the state media. They're heavily propagandized. They've hidden their use of chemical weapons. Trying to push a fairly common colonial narrative of colonial powers, saying we're the benevolent civilizing force, the Ethiopians are barbaric savages. One example of this is some postcards produced by the Italians.
This can't be good.
I'm just going to show you maybe you can describe these. These are, as far as I know, real. And I'm just going to show you some propaganda postcards that were created by the Italians.
So I was interested because you had the TV plugged into your laptop and you brought it up, which we never do.
No.
We never get the TV up during the podcast. So I was very interested to see what you're going to show me visually here. So if you get this up, I'll try and provide my first hand. Let's have a little look at what we've got going on here. Okay. So what you've Yeah, what you've presented me with is not what I would have expected from propaganda, because this does not paint any nation in any positive light. This is Italian propaganda,
Yes.
and if you were to show this nowadays, this is the height of racism.
Yes. So these are a series of postcards they made to propagandize this war and they're all in the style of
It's all like
children, because the idea is this war will be child's play.
And what they've done here is they've illustrated both sides as sort of like infant, baby-faced characters, like sort of cartoonish. And in this first postcard here, we've got 3 Italian soldiers, and one of them is kicking an Ethiopian soldier at the back of a line of Ethiopian soldiers. And the Ethiopian soldiers are all illustrated in a way that is very cartoonishly racist. It's sort of
Minstrel show.
Yeah, think minstrel show. Slightly less overt than minstrel show, but by a hair. And they're being kicked by the Italian soldiers down a hill. The fact that this is propaganda is bewildering. The second one, really not any better. This is an Italian soldier. Again, the infant style artwork for everybody involved here. We've got an Italian soldier draping a flag over their back, over their shoulder, very heroically, while Ethiopian villagers, by the looks of it, just civilians, are holding up their hands, praising them, and a white flag is bared by one of the, looks like maybe a child. It's hard to tell with this art style.
Yeah. I think they're doing Roman salutes.
That's what it is. Yes, it is. They're giving them Roman salutes. Bearing in mind, we know for a fact that these people were killed in the tens of thousands with chemical weapons. But here, it would seem that's all fallen by the wayside. And in this propaganda, they're giving them lovely salutes. Pats on the back.
Very happy to see them.
Yeah. Fucking insane. Insane. Right. So this here is the third one. An Italian soldier planting a flag in the ground, the Italian flag, while more of these racist caricatures are bowing down to an Italian soldier. They have weapons in their hands, so they've decided that combat is no longer something they're interested in. They would rather bow to the feet of the Italians.
Greet their new... Yeah, it's crazy.
This is...
It's that they're presenting it as like, the Ethiopians are incredibly grateful we're here.
Their arrival is some sort of sanctimonious, brilliant thing.
Yeah.
The wild thing is, we can't share this. We can't put this onto the Instagram to show people.
No, this should not be on our Instagram.
This is genuinely... like, if you saw this in any context nowadays, without knowing that it's from nearly 100 years ago, you would see this and think that this is, like, edgy, racist humor from, like, the depths of the internet.
Yes.
Like, this would be taken as some very, just not even joke, I think just racist, I guess what it is, actually.
Yeah,
I guess
racist
you'd see it
propaganda.
Yeah, you'd actually see it for what it is.
So yeah, we won't share. You can find this and stuff like it if you Google Italian propaganda, Second Italo-Ethiopian War postcards. You'll find the ones we're talking about, and also some others that are bad, equally bad, but just different. And
it's a collection of 5 postcards which are under the gift of Stephen Heller in this area.
Yeah,
of this website. They continue in their horrible format of the next one being an Italian soldier and a maid of some sort serving some more Ethiopians soup. These look like children in the sense that they're shorter than the others. they're here providing a national service, it would seem.
Yeah, humanitarian aid.
Yeah, this is absolutely wacky. Like, the fact that this was put out to try and bolster a nation and paint them as anything but fucking monsters.
Yeah.
This is the worst.
The last one is insane.
The last one is borderline unbelievable. Yeah.
So what it shows...
Any bemusement that we show with this, by the way, any if you're finding us sort of laughing at this or breaking stride, it's not because this is funny. It's because the fact that this is published is genuinely unbelievable.
Yeah, it's bewildering.
The last one here is it's another illustration of Ethiopian soldiers.
Italian soldiers.
Sorry, yes. Yes. Very, very important distinction, because these are Italian soldiers on their hands and knees with a chisel and hammer breaking the chains around the ankles of Ethiopian slaves.
Yeah.
As if what they have done is not burn every village they've come across, bomb open cities, and gas 100,000 people.
Yeah.
Civilians. No, they're here to help. They're here to help.
Yeah.
That's the propaganda.
That's just them having a bloodless child's play war where they're just helping people out.
It's I don't really... I'm actually lost for words, because that is an astounding use of illustration to show how deluded you are.
Yeah. It's like they're just pumping that. Like, that isn't obviously the totality of their propaganda, but even the fact that that's a part of it.
It's the passive fucking barbarism within that to illustrate these people as racist caricatures when you've shown up, killed them en masse through war crimes, what is recognized as a war crime against human rights, and then show yourself as a liberator in any way, shape, or form. It's evil. There is a word for it. It's evil.
It is evil, yeah.
And it's a word that's sort of battered around a little bit here and there, and it's not usually given the weight it needs. This is evil.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you at all. It's...
we can't share this anywhere. We won't. You can search it through the means Andy's mentioned there if you want to have a look at it. It's not pleasant. It's not anything sort of explicit. You're not seeing anything explicit in that sense, but
it would be safe for work, I guess.
I wouldn't look at this at work.
Actually, no, that's it. It doesn't contain nudity or violence or gore. It's do not look at this at work.
Yes, no, you will be fired for looking at this at work.
Yeah.
They will look down upon you, and rightly so, because look at this in a safe space where you feel comfortable looking at it and nowhere else.
Yeah.
That is just absolutely out of order. It's not really computing that they would put this out as a government and go, this makes us look good. Even at the time, however divorced from reality you might be nowadays, I don't think you could look at this and go, this is acceptable, unless you're the most broken kind of person I can imagine.
Well, I think part of it is they kept the gas from them. They kept all any failures like the Christmas offensive from them. So as far as they've told the Italian people, it's just going well where they're helping them uplift it. It's
I'm not very pleased with that. No. Yeah, thank you for showing me in the sense of educating, but I really that just really solidifies my hatred for a substrata of people I already knew I hated.
Well, if it reinforces that, I guess. It's, but yeah, so as I mentioned, they take over the capital, but half the country's still unoccupied. Fighting's going to continue for another 3 years against rebel movements. Basically, it stops when World War II happens and everyone gets busy, but they never really gain full control of the country. But despite this is Mussolini's high point. The Great Depression's happening in the 30s. Italy was not immune, and he didn't build a particularly strong economy. But this was the sort of height of like a sellable glory. We're rebuilding the Roman Empire.
You're saying this guy didn't have foresight?
No, it's hard to have foresight when you're obsessed with the past.
This guy lives in the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
You know the whole meme of every male thinks about the Roman Empire every single day.
Yeah.
Does this come from here?
It might, yeah.
This is Mussolini.
I wouldn't be actually surprised if a lot of the mythologizing of Rome is, in some ways, because of its use by fascists as a symbol.
Oh, I hope not. What a way to ruin the Roman Empire. And again, ups and downs with the Roman Empire, but was it fascist Italy? I don't know that it was that.
The thing is, you can't really have... It's sort of a totalitarian at times democracy. When people talk about even the Roman Empire, and then you've got the Roman Republic, and then the Roman Empire again. Like, it's such a large thing that you can sort of point to any point in it, because there's enough of it that you can sort of find the bits that help your case.
Which is very Mussolini.
Oh, yeah. An example, do you know the Roman salute?
Yes.
Romans never did that. That was from a film in, I think, the 20s.
Oh, great. So they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, the Roman salute is an entirely fabricated thing that then they used to link themselves to Rome. But I do think it was like a sort of swords and sandals film in the 20s that invented it. Okay,
so what you're saying is Mussolini had about as much authenticity as Caesar's Legion from the Fallout series.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, yeah. It's grab the aesthetics, grab the myth, not actually doing any deep research into anything.
Yeah, from a man as insecure as Mussolini, this does not shock me.
Oh, and here's some more a non-shocking insecurity coming up for you. So Badoglio, he's captured Addis Ababa. He's successfully run this campaign. He returns and he's snubbed by Mussolini. Doesn't receive the rewards that would be expected for like an Italian hero.
Oh heavens, why?
Well, first off, one of his reasons is no individual should be raised above the fascist state. In particular, Badoglio's old guard, he's Italian Royal Army who's sort of carried over. But also, Balbo got snubbed after the March on Rome, even though he was, in that case, he was the most effective guy there, because as soon as someone's effective, they're a threat to Mussolini.
Which is an interesting bubble of insecurity to live in. Because, yeah, Balbo, he had that, and then he had, I believe it was an unfortunate aircraft accident.
Yes.
So it's almost as if you exceed expectation, what you want to do around Mussolini is just be kind of good at your job.
Which is a really bad ceiling to set when you want to fight a world war.
You enforce, you'll know this, because I can't remember it off the top of my head, the idea that you exceed in a job until you finally hit the level of incompetence.
Peter principle or something? But basically it's like when you stop getting promoted, it's because you're not good enough at whatever you're doing to be promoted. Yeah. So everyone ends up at like their sort of level of incompetency.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what Mussolini's introducing, but without... It's like another level of synthetic imposition.
Yeah.
Because you're stopping people from ever exceeding their usual expectation because you get terrified that they'll kill you, or not even kill you, just be more popular.
Yeah.
So you have to kill them.
So, yeah, he snubs him here. He doesn't give him, all the honors. Insecurity, as we talk about, but also this idea of, like, the fascist state subsumes the individual and, like, no one individual is better than it. Despite this, after this successful, creation of the Italian Empire again, he invents the position of First Marshal of the Italian Empire and promotes himself to that position. So Badoglio doesn't get doesn't get his laurels, but Mussolini gets a promotion out of it.
That's wild, by the way, that someone else is doing really well, so you have to promote yourself above head of state.
Yes. Well, in this move, he gives him and the king this role and promotes them both to it.
So he kind of wants to...
He's kind of demotes the king.
Yeah, because he's saying that...
Because he puts himself on his level, which he wasn't before.
Yeah, there's only two people that have this rank, me and the king. And it's like, don't lump us in together, you dickhead.
But it's also like, oh, so kings have this. Like...
Yeah, this is like kings have.
Yeah.
And, I also happen to have this. What a small man.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a brilliant propagandist in his early life and stuff, but he's
really, because the shit I was just looking at, that's insane.
I guess because there is the urge to dispel him as a buffoon entirely.
Yeah,
but he's a dog that caught a car almost.
Yeah,
like his entire figure is like, this state is sick, I'm gathering all my personal power, and then it's like, oh shit, I'm in charge, I actually have to do more than just say everything's fucked.
Well, that's it. The drivel that I just looked at is the sort of stuff that was pumped out that led to the rise of the Italian fascist movement through World War II. So what I've just looked at, the crazy thing about it, that worked, which speaks to a demented mindset of broken people and people willing to commit evil. And, I'm not here to be able to attest to what kind of mindset drives people to be evil people, but whatever it was present in the minds of the Italian fascists.
Yes.
And stuff like that really worked. And I genuinely, after looking at that, do not understand. So it's very easy for me to sit and say now, with hindsight, what a buffoon. But somehow that worked.
I think we'll definitely have a Mussolini series and holding off because it'll probably be like a 10-parter. But a big part of that, and also a big part of when we get to the Nazis as well, is propaganda. Probably do with his own propaganda series.
Yeah.
It's such a vital part of everything that's happening, that propaganda-driven movements. So yeah, probably will have a propaganda series at some point.
Well, I think it has to be propaganda-driven because I don't see any way that people could just freely think of these ideas. Like the notions that are put into those illustrations, that's not the kind of stuff that someone thinks unless you start to alienate and vilify people or infantilize people with stuff like that. There's no way that anyone just drums that up in their own mind without provocation. You need to be
sort of in the system.
Yeah, you need to be spoon-fed that, and you need to already be malleable in a really toxically xenophobic environment.
Yeah, and it is kind of hard to tell because dissent was violently pushed down. The state media was controlled, so it's hard to get a sense of, like, what would the average Italian have thought at the time? Would they have been... There was obviously the fanatics, the people who joined up for the black shirts and stuff, but there's also the, like, sort of lower middle class Italian who isn't like signing up, be interested to do sort of what they're sort of receiving.
Yeah, but the willingness to go for it, it's kind of like a block toilet, the shit rises to the top.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, the worst kind of people take the initiative in these environments.
Yes.
And the propaganda is just the catalyst for that. It's the excuse.
Yeah. But yeah, so on the 12th of May, 1936, Haile Selassie beseeches the League of Nations. He's the first head of state to directly address the assembly ever. And when the Italians find out he's coming, they withdraw their delegates from the assembly. But there are Italian journalists in the audience, and when he starts to step up and give his speech, the Italian journalists start booing and jeering and like mocking him until one of the Romanian delegates like loses it and shouts to the door with the savages, and all the Italian journalists get removed.
Oh, so they'll step up now.
Oh, if it's in civility in the room, that's fine.
Yeah, public forum, you've got to keep decorum. But, when it comes to the war crimes being committed, let's take a step
We've got
back
to
and
keep
see what
Italy
happens.
on side. What would happen if they were to join Hitler?
Let's not arm both sides, guys. That's not a good idea. Let's try and keep the peace.
Yeah.
But here, in the core of civility, that's absolutely stupid behavior.
Yeah. But he gives a great speech. I'd highly recommend looking it up. There's some videos on YouTube of people who've translated his speeches, or you can find the text.
I'll probably have a look at that because he's dropped some crazy good quotes.
A lot of the quotes have come from either this address or one he did to the UN in 1963.
Was the one at the start from this speech?
This one, yes, that was from this one.
Yeah.
And also the bit, I think it was last time, about appeasement.
I think that was this one, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, some great quotes in there. But for the next few years, he ends up living in Bath, England, trying to gather support in exile and counter-Italian propaganda efforts. This is also, there's a lot of support for them among African Americans. It's almost a sort of, it's a moment in the civil rights movement where, like, African Americans sort of start being like, look to Africa, support them. There's like huge marches in like Harlem and Chicago in support of Ethiopia and Haile Selassie.
Which is crazy when you bear in mind that, from what I know from other history segments, Chicago has a monument to Balbo.
Yes, it's a bit of a...
It's such a weird political whiplash of marching for Ethiopia and then monument to Balbo.
Yes, and filling the streets for Balbo.
What was it, like 1 million strong?
It was a crazy number.
Like, how do you go from one end to the other in such a short space of time?
Yeah.
Like, for a moment I was going to say it boggles the mind, but we've actually seen that in, like, our lifetime of political swings. Like, it's crazy how stuff changes over a few years.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, he does return to Ethiopia eventually during the East Africa campaign in 1941 with support from the Commonwealth. They drive Italy out and he returns to Addis Ababa on the 5th of May 1941, exactly 5 years to the day after the Italians entered the city. And the overview of the Second Italo-Ethiopian War there. I know it's been focused a lot on, a pretty heavy war crime episode and some propaganda stuff, this one, but I think it was important for, like, highlighting the failures of the League of Nations and then also the consequences. It's not just like the League failed a war, it was like there's very real consequences of their failure.
Yeah, and I think that's sort of a through line of the history segments overall, which is that we said from episode 1, we're not experts on history, and we'll try and learn a bit as we go, and I've really thoroughly enjoyed learning. I think we've kind of lost a bit of the usual whimsy in some of the history segments where we've ended up touching on pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I'd rather touch on some heavy stuff and learn more than shy away from it. I think what we should do is maybe pop in maybe a bit of a message at the start of the heavier history segments, because we want this to be as lighthearted as it can be.
I think it's important to know also if this is the sort of lighthearted commute thing, probably not the best sort of stuff to be starting your day with.
Yeah, if you want to just, take the bus ride, the car journey to work and wash the dishes, listening to Campaign for North Africa chat, then if we stick a bit of a warning on the heavy ones, you can skip through, get to the silly common ground. Or if you want to stick it out, listen to the heavier bits, then you've got the option. You can always come back to them as well. That's the benefit. We'll be doing this for 50 years, and after that, it will be immortalized as art in museums forever, because this will be something that people talk about for the rest of time. Similar to history.
We're going to submit this to the National Archive.
They've actually reached out.
Oh, good.
I declined.
Oh,
we're too
playing
big.
hard to get.
We're actually bigger than that right now. So, yeah, on that front, we won't shy away from the heavy topics.
We'll try to do some lighter.
We'll try and get into the funny
Keep a
anecdotes where we
balance.
can. But it's really interesting stuff, and it's also important stuff. And I'd feel disingenuous if there's ever a time to talk about important stuff and not do it.
Yeah.
That's not okay. So we'll keep it light where we can, but we'll keep it heavy when we need to.
Yeah.
We can be flex.
We'll balance it out, though. You've got a counterpoint to all this.
Well, that's it, because at the end of all this, I've boxed you into a horrible situation in the game. You've brought to me a harrowing series of history segments. And now that that's wrapped up, and now that we found ourselves sat at the end of the night with nothing to do but try and come together again as friends, the only way to do so is through common ground. And now for something nicer. A little oasis in the war. It's time for some common ground. I'm trying the intro for common ground. I'm recording it. Maybe. Yeah. So, our common ground is a way for us to come together as friends. Every week, we're going to be playing this. We've got another 2,500 and odd episodes of this.
Yep.
Best case scenario. So, we need to unify on a topic of discussion, and it's my turn to bring the topic of discussion to the table.
What you got for us?
As I alluded to earlier in Ren's email, it relates a little bit to what was said. I think we should start dressing like cartoon characters.
Okay. Which ones?
So, you ever seen The Simpsons?
Yes. Okay.
It's quite a popular program. It's a cartoon about a family. We'll not get into the synopsis. It's quite detailed. It's got a lot of lore. But can you tell me what Homer Simpson wears?
Yeah. Blue trousers, white shirt.
What about Bart?
Orange shirt, blue shorts.
That sounds right. I put you in a position where I don't know the answer. That's a bad sales tactic. And Marge?
Green dress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does she have around her neck?
Pills.
Absolutely. You know this.
So
This is how they look.
So is your thing everyone should have they like pick an outfit and they just wear that over and over again?
Well, Andy, in answer to that question, I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
Do you ever find yourself waking up in the morning and looking for clothes to wear and not being sure what you should put on?
I guess. I don't. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Would you prefer to have a situation where you can wake up and just know exactly, or I guess not even know, it just happens. You've got the clothes on.
Yeah, I'd prefer it.
You'll be wearing the same clothes.
Okay.
So what we have here is an opportunity to become uniformed as an individual.
Okay, yeah. So you just have to buy like 5 of the same each bit.
You can just wear your clothes, and they'll be Andy's clothes.
Okay. How often can you change them? Or is it locked in?
Well, that's where Ren's email actually came in as quite an interesting point, because I had this common ground in mind for the last week or so.
Okay.
Because there will be moments where you need to change it up. When it becomes winter, for example. Even in The Simpsons, Bart Simpson's not going to wear shorts and his t-shirt in the winter. You see him in a winter coat with gloves on. And that's true of your situation in this fantasy world. You can have your winter outfit.
Okay.
You can have your holiday outfit. And you can even have your formal outfit.
Yeah. Because they do have themed... They will divert from the costume for special events and stuff.
Exactly.
Okay.
But that's what it should be.
Okay, I like this. I like anything that makes it easier, so...
Well, that's it. Take life, all right? Right now, life is... break it down into categories, all right? So it's no longer a case of what are you wearing Monday to Friday. It's a case of what are you wearing when you're going about day to day.
Okay, yeah.
Day to day in this case is being very broad. It's what are you wearing...
Out the house.
Where it's not a special occasion.
Yes.
In the house, you're wearing the same thing.
Oh, yeah, of course. It's like, what would I wear?
Oh, okay then. Yeah, let's hear what would your choice be? What you wearing? What's your cartoon outfit?
I'm going to go boiler suit.
What the fuck?
and then poncho over it.
You sound like a serial killer.
What's wrong with that?
I'm going to pinpoint a few things.
Okay.
Boiler suit, Michael Myers. Poncho, you're just doing American Psycho.
He doesn't wear a poncho in American Psycho.
He wears the raincoat type.
I'm not wearing one of them. I'm wearing a nice poncho.
Oh, don't decry what I'm saying as if I'm some sort of fucking lunatic. You describing the outfit of a boiler suit with a poncho on top is, I think, enough to have you sectioned in the UK.
Oh, sorry. What are you going to wear? Jeans and a t-shirt.
Right, first of all, how fucking dare you, because that's what I'm wearing at the moment. Except I usually wear a jumper on top.
Yep.
I would absolutely wear jeans, a t-shirt, and a jumper on top.
Okay.
That would be it for me.
You're welcome to it.
That's what I'd go for. Some trainers of some sort, usually like a Converse-style trainer. That is my outfit.
Okay.
And you went for boiler suit with a poncho on top.
Yeah. Boiler suit, very versatile. I'm a fan. Poncho gives me some thermal regulation, as Ren pointed out. Gives me a top layer.
This also is a callback to when you described me as having been, I guess, quite a bad friend. I'm going to put you in a position here, Andy. When the fuck do you need to be versatile with your outfit? What are you doing that requires a boiler suit to be acting in versatile ways?
They're a good... If you get wearing one thing, they're a good option.
I'm gonna break something to you here, Andy. I know what your hobbies are.
Okay.
And it's not because I've been watching you, it's because I'm there for them.
Okay.
Your hobbies revolve around the table we're sat at right now.
Yeah.
You don't need the boiler suit for that.
I don't need it.
It will ruin my experience.
Why?
I don't want you to be wearing a boiler suit because I think it alludes to the intention of criminality.
It doesn't. Look, it gives me multiple... I can do boiler suit, take the top bit off, tie it around the waist.
You're topless.
No.
Yes.
Wife beater under the boiler suit.
You've got more clothes on.
Yeah, but then I can take that off. It's like taking a shirt off. And then poncho on as well. I've got a whole range.
Hang on, so you've got a boiler suit tied around your waist. You've taken off a tank top and you have a poncho over your bare chest.
Yes.
And you describe that as the compromise when we're playing D&D together.
Yes.
Why do you think that's appropriate?
Because I get one outfit, so I'm going to have some fun with it.
What's fun about that? Is making your friends uncomfortable fun for you?
Sometimes.
Is it fun right now?
Yes.
Then I'm glad you're having a good time and you've succeeded at what you were trying to do.
Cool, so we agree.
On you making me feel uncomfortable.
On both the cartoon thing and the outfits we're going to wear.
I've changed my mind.
Okay.
Because you've had too much fun with this. From now on,
Okay.
I'm changing the rules for you specifically.
Okay.
You now have to dress as Bart Simpson.
No.
Shorts and a t-shirt.
I'm not doing that.
Then rebuke it.
I don't want to wear shorts all the time.
A classic common ground, sophisticated rebuttal.
You're trying to make me wear shorts all the time and I don't want it.
You want to be topless with a boiler suit around your waist.
That's a good look.
For who?
Vin Diesel?
Fuck you. Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Andy, I'm looking at you right now.
Yeah.
And I see a close friend.
Yeah.
I see someone that I spend a lot of time with.
Yes.
And I see someone who unfortunately has deluded themselves into thinking that they look the same as Vin Diesel.
I'm in the same oeuvre.
I'm going to be honest, I don't know what the word is that you just said.
Sort of like genre.
Right, okay. I thought it was going to be of that vibe. Liar. Actually, I'm going to put you on the spot once again. In what way are you a similar vibe to Vin Diesel? I'm going to give you 10 seconds.
I like D&D. I like the Fast and Furious films. I'm a big fan of Riddick. All things Vin Diesel is a fan of.
Yeah, you know what? I guess you are kind of like Vin Diesel.
I've probably seen the music video on his website more times than him.
I
Look it up.
Don't give me Vin Diesel homework. So you think Vin Diesel and you are kindred spirits?
Yeah. Sorry, there's not much to elaborate on there. We're just so similar guys.
Yeah, you've really you solidified your opinion on that. I don't know that there's any rebuttal I can throw back as retort to that.
I guess you just have to accept it.
So you're happy with this?
I'm ecstatic.
Can I revoke a common ground?
Nope.
You know what? It says something when the thing that's meant to bring us together, you agree with the idea, but you've actually ruined it for me.
I've only said yes to this idea. But
I'm going to expand my wardrobe so much now.
Cool.
No, that's not the reaction I was looking for. I was looking for... I guess I was trying to emotionally manipulate you into maybe having some sort of remorse.
Nope.
Then I'll just plead. Andy, reconsider.
Nah.
Wear different clothes.
Boiler suit, tank top, poncho.
So this is my call to action for anyone listening. We need
I'm one of those big furry Russian hats in winter.
I have a picture of you in one of those.
I have one of them,
At Download Festival.
Yes. Oh no, that was my furry bucket hat.
Oh yeah, it was.
The most useless piece of clothing ever made.
So my call to action is we need to let Andy know this isn't okay. We need to make sure that we put out a message contrary to this, because Andy will run with this. Poncho, yeah, will be completely overshadowed by boiler suit, yeah. And I don't want that.
No, because the poncho year is for everyone. Boiler suits in your thing is just my outfit.
No. I deeply, deeply dislike all of this.
We agree on the cartoon thing.
No, we don't. No, we don't. I'm not agreeing with that anymore.
This is on you. I've come in at this common ground with an open mind.
Yes, I'm pouring another drink. Extended cut, explain yourself. This isn't okay anymore.
I think I have explained myself.
Whose idea with this podcast?
Ours.
Yeah, exactly. It was a shared thing.
Okay.
I need us to be on a level here.
Cartoon outfits.
No, we need to find something else. This isn't okay anymore.
That's not how the segment works. You got to make the thing you brought work.
I know, but I feel like as the podcast went on, we've both become slightly more drunk as it went along. I would say so.
Yeah.
From someone who feels that way.
Okay.
So let's find a different compromise. What about if we instead...
I'll drop the boiler suit.
No, what if instead we... You know when you go into show homes...
Yeah.
And they have one light switch on,
yeah,
or like a plug socket. They've got one on and one off for display purposes. What if we eradicated that?
Sure.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go. I needed that.
Okay.
I needed that. So, in show homes from now on, they'll both be on.
You could have come with me on this joyous voyage I went on.
We went on a voyage together, Andy, and you threw me overboard. You tossed me to the sharks.
I had to.
I guess we sign off.
Not with a bang, but with a whimper.
However, we'll be back next week, and we'll be back every week after. This will not end. This is just the onslaught of our lives in the deserts of our minds.
Thank you for listening. Stay subtle, humble, and brave.
And we'll catch you next time. Listen out, because next week's going to be an episode of War with a Mate.